Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Naomi Osaka versus Jasmine Paolini in the round of 16 matchup in Miami for the 2025 Masters Tournament. Let's get into it. So before we do though, remember that like button, do subscribe if you're new, and do the rating or review if you're listening on a podcast platform. Also, shout out to our members on YouTube. Thank you for all your support. On top of that, please do click that notification bell if you haven't done so already. It really does help us. It makes sure that you guys get alerted to any new uploads and ensure that notifications are clicked or ticked on your YouTube settings. Okay, so the head-to-head between these two players is actually quite interesting because they've never played before, like Osaka and Paolini. And we've got a matchup where, like all the best matchups on paper, in my opinion, there's a clash of styles. You know, when you have two players that play quite similarly, sometimes it doesn't set fire for a few reasons. Sometimes they cancel each other out and it's a bit of a stalemate. Other times it can be a little bit one-paced. But in this case, we will have two players who play in two different ways. You know, Osaka likes to play a very aggressive brand of tennis, likes to take the ball early, likes to use angles and hit flat penetrating ground strokes through the court and really rush her opponent. For Paolini, her game is built on very good shot tolerance, a high topspin game where she tries to dictate with spin and depth, and a very good defensive base where she's able to be that counterpuncher, enforce errors from her opponents, and be rock solid in her style of play. A very good returner as well because she's not the biggest in terms of height, so she doesn't get a lot of free points on serve consistently, unlike someone like Osaka who's got a very good serve. So that's also a factor to take into account when thinking of this matchup. In terms of, you know, how it might play out, I mean, look, as I mentioned, Osaka's going to be aggressive. So the courts in Miami, a tournament where, of course, she's been a finalist in the past, these courts are going to be more suited to her game. They're slightly lower bouncing. They're not as high bouncing as someone like Indian Wells, for example. They're quicker than Indian Wells. They're medium fast hard court, which is, you know, for someone like Osaka who's able to generate a lot of power, she gets more bang for her buck in terms of the style that she plays. For someone like Paolini, she doesn't get as much bang for her buck for the amount of topspin she's able to generate, and, you know, she doesn't get that slow, heavy ball that she would get on a clay court, for example. Naomi has looked pretty good in some of her matches this year, but the match against Baptiste, I think, was more of a match of real grit and determination. Now, she's going to have to raise her level yet again against Paolini here, who had a fantastic 2024. She will be looking to kick on in Miami as well. And she's been playing some solid stuff, I think it's fair to say. You know, Osaka was in double digits for aces or ace count even against Baptiste in the 3 sets they played, which I thought was quite impressive. Clearly, you know, had her moments where she was playing some really good tennis and others where she wasn't. So definitely a fluctuation in level. For Paolini, she's going to be generally quite steady, very consistent. So it's going to come down to the level that Osaka is able to, one, find during the match, and two, how consistently and for how long can she play at that higher level against Paolini. Is it enough to go over the line and win the match, or is it only enough to take a set, or even to just be competitive in a set? We'll have to find out and see. If Osaka wants to win, the level, as I said, is an important thing, but she has to also serve well. Paolini is a good returner, but if she can get 3 points on her first serve and be very proactive with the +1 play and just keep Paolini at bay in her own service games, then when it comes to return games, she will have chances on Paolini's serve, especially off the second serve, which is very slow. She will have chances to step in and either hit return winners or at least get herself on the front foot with that first strike on return. For Paolini, I think, the first serve percentage is pretty big for her. And generally speaking, I would say that, if there's a player that's got a good serve, if they serve only at 55% of first serves, then it's fine, because as long as they're hitting the spots, they're going for it, most likely their first serve points, 1% will be above 70%. For Paolini, though, that's not necessarily the case. She doesn't have that weapon of a serve, so it's almost better that she's able to maybe play, not necessarily safer, but a little more calculated with that first serve, and is able to make a high percentage of first serves, because her second serve is attacked quite frequently on tour, because it's just not I would say, in my opinion, it's not a particularly solid second serve. I think it does sit up, and it gives the opponent a lot of opportunity to step in, take the ball early, and really put her in an awkward position straight away in a rally. Paolini is the more physical player. She's got great athleticism. I think she moves around the court better than Osaka. She has better legs in that sense, and she might try and make it quite physical for Osaka, and that's where it will get difficult, because if she can make it physical, we know that she's got the better shot tolerance, in my opinion, and I think Osaka will struggle being pushed back, and also with those longer rallies, I think we will see more errors from Osaka. So she needs to really take advantage of any opportunity she gets to attack on the front foot pretty much straight away, and then hope that Paolini will either be forced into errors, or, she's not able to get to some of those balls, because the longer the rallies go on, and the more Paolini is making a play, an extra shot, an extra 2 shots, it's going to get increasingly difficult for Naomi. So I'm going to go with, because of the courts, and I think maybe Naomi will finally get that big marquee win, which this could be one, or the one. I'm actually going to go with Osaka in 3 sets. Let me know in the comment section below what you think and why, guys. Thank you very much. Stay safe and well. We'll see you in the next video.